Hey guys, and welcome to this video on Black Moon Lilith in the 4th house. So if you have Black Moon Lilith in your 4th house in your natal chart in astrology, this video is for you. So I'm Cassandra, the Saffron Sage, and let's get into this video. We're going to talk about what Black Moon Lilith means, what the 4th house means, and what it means when this placement is here. So Black Moon Lilith was the original First Lady who was cast out of the Garden of Eden for not doing what Adam wanted and for having her own desires. And so the way the story goes is that she was punished for not submitting to him. And that's kind of the message in the Lilith story, is that, women are supposed to submit to men, and when they don't, they get in trouble. So what happens in our chart is wherever we have Lilith by sign and house, one way it shows up, especially through the signs, is like you can never have enough of that thing because it shows your desire, your innate sort of primal animalistic desire. But then through the houses especially is going to be the area of life where people reject you for expressing your natural desires in that area. And the 4th house is the house of the home, roots, and family. So it can be our family of origin, our ancestry, where we come from. That's really kind of the idea behind the 4th house. But it can also be the emotional side of feeling grounded and comfortable in our own skin. So it has two meanings there. The 4th house is the home, but it's like it can have to do with the home as well. Some people with placements here end up doing work from home or real estate. But for Lilith here, part of it is how we relate to our family of origin, and part of it is going to be what we need to feel okay in our own skin. So one of the ways this can really show up is that, and I'm just checking out my notes here. Okay, so there's a battle of sexes within the family. So this can be a family system where there's a big sort of war between men and women within the family. People who are very, perhaps very traditional, like a very traditional family when it comes to gender roles, but then like the women don't want that, and so there's this like fight all the time about, I just imagine like a bunch of guys who are like, yeah, you belong in the kitchen, kind of a thing, where it's that sort of battle of like we're against each other, men and women were against each other, and that dynamic plays out in the family, whether it be like the extended family or one side of your family of origin. This can show up in different ways for different people. It could show up with your own parents where, the gender roles were really perhaps uneven, perhaps a situation where the man is working, but then the woman's also working and then doing all the other roles she's supposed to have, and then it's like there creates this like uneven dynamic. And I think that's one way this can show up. Another way is that women can be sort of demonized for being like Lilith. So you could have grown up in a family with this placement where you were treated as if you had to be a certain kind of woman or else you were wrong. And, we see this all the time, right? Where men can do whatever they want and they're not like judged for it. But if a woman does the same thing, she is. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Which, I mean, if we're applying that's going to apply to everyone, almost everyone in society right now. So the way this becomes more personal is how your family reacts to you, or sometimes another member of the family. So you could have another member of your family who represents Lilith. So that could possibly be like a sister who is wild. And, then everyone else in the family hates her. And you may not be the person who is being totally judged as long as you don't have those qualities, right? As long as you don't show those qualities in your family. Another way this can look for Lilith in the 4th house is some people with Lilith in the 4th house end up leaving their family system to remain whole. They end up having to leave the dynamic. That's regardless of sexuality, just the family dynamic isn't what they want. isn't the kind of dynamic they want to have to pass on to their children. And so they end up leaving that family system to keep their own integrity and maybe create their own family system. And there may be a rejection by the family of them back almost. You know, it's like they reject their family of origins values, which many people do on some level. But with Lilith here, it's going to be more pronounced. It's going to be more extreme. And then that's one way. And another way is you could actually threaten your parents. Now, again, this can be in a few different ways that the threat shows up. So one could be like, if you're honest and they're not honest, right? If you're the kind of person that will tell the truth and they are not, you could threaten them. If you have high integrity and they want to get away with stuff and, you know you won't let them. Or if you are smart and they don't value education, you could threaten them. If you do more with your life than they did with theirs. There could be many, many different ways as a child that you could threaten your parents just by being yourself. And that's really, again, the point of Lilith here, is that all you're doing is being yourself. All you're doing is expressing your natural desires. And it could also be something like, you know, your family, everyone else in your family has 10 kids and you don't want to have any kids, you know, or you're like the one in your family who goes to college and it threatens everyone else because they're like, we never needed to do that, you know, that kind of thing. There could be so many other ways this shows up, but ultimately there's a reaction by your family to you that says you are not okay the way you are. And that, again, that can also be like, I'm just like really feeling into some of the other possibilities here. Sometimes parents don't want their kids and nobody ever talks about that, but this can be another, like one of the more extreme manifestations is that like having a family that didn't want you and having a family who like maybe being adopted, being given up, being abandoned, having a parent or both parents just not care about you the way they should. And get rid of you, and it doesn't even have to be like that extreme. It could be that there's just this unspoken feeling that they resent you because they didn't want any more kids or something like that. So these are some of the ways that Lilith can show up in the fourth house. And the way to heal through this placement really is finding that home within your own self. And I know that might sound kind of cheesy, but really when a person has dealt with a kind of rejection from their own family, they have to work really, really hard to feel like they're okay. Because it creates a feeling deep inside like there must be something wrong with me if my own family doesn't even like me or didn't even want me. And so the person with this placement generally is going to have to do a little bit of work on feeling like I'm okay. I'm okay in my own skin. I'm okay with the family values that I have, whatever it may be, you know, whatever is the opposite of what your family treated you, you know, however that plays out for you. So let me know, you guys, in a comment below if this made sense, if it resonated. I love hearing from you. And be sure to check out my Lilith Through the Signs videos if you haven't done so already. And you can also book a private reading. They are on sale right now through the 27th. So click the link below to get in on that. And if you are watching this afterwards, make sure you get on my email list, because I always tell people on my email list when I'm doing a sale or any other kind of promotion or offer. So that is all I have for you guys today, and I'll see you all in the next video.